So 13 world tribes I have called Star Soldier Sirius 7. And at one of these tribes I will live. And for every one good man, and I only allow the best of us in, you will get 21 wives and 21 babies. We are seeking mothers who have already had a child successfully and would like to have their second. And we repopulate this beautiful planet, starting from our Eden paradise. It's called Alpha Eden. You, mommy, would be transcendent, inspired, and likely you've been through some persecution or trauma through the system. We absolutely know it's a bullshit system. Worse than low grade, it seems to be into creating pain stories for people. Transcend that. This is your reward. Elon Musk will be, with Trump, will be setting aside a parcel of land for me. It will be tagged for the military so they can observe it, and we will not be, they will not come and visit. It's tagged so they know what it is, and they know to not contact us. So we don't have to hide. We're not like Jonestown or Waco, Texas. We are a science spirit experiment. If you thought it was valuable to discover an Aboriginal tribe that didn't speak English because they might know something, this would be us. Our children speak Zinglish. English is a retarded language, and we don't want you talking to them. We will lead the planet. People who want to reach us will speak Zinglish. English sounds like a lot of garble and long-winded, about as bad as Indian sounds to an American. They triple talk and say not a lot. That's how English sounds to us who speak Zinglish. We grow our own food, we have exotic pets. It's as perfect and fun as it gets. What do you think of the 1 to 21? Moms know, yeah, it's that hard to find a good man. These men are exceptional. So they're chosen for their genetics as well as their human performance in their life. Easy to find a mom, it's divided cells. If you're healthy and were successful raising your first child, could just be still a young one. I'll say they're typically age 1 to 7. That's just typical. And the age of the mom, it can be an older mom than you would expect. I won't put a number on it though. If you believe that you can achieve, that's the main thing. More wisdom in the humans makes this even more guaranteed to be successful. We will raise our children with our own history. American history, grade 12, give them the test, they won't pass, they don't know. We call that bullshit. His story. It wasn't good anyway. Why do we have to measure a bunch of not good? You teach about Vietnam War, you don't teach about Cambodia. Well, that's a 2.2 million genocide. That's 25% of the population. And you skip it. You say Born to Kill would be a good supplemental film. That's the American high school curriculum. 9/11, they say trust the architects and engineers. Don't listen to conspiracy theories. This is the research. That means go with a larger group. A larger group of architects and engineers want to not have their license pulled. The smaller group are heroes. They risk their license being pulled. That's the group to listen to. They're not crazy. They're heroes. And according to Richard Gage, architects and engineers They all agree 100% that's controlled demolition. All the evidence points to it. On the other side, Tower 7 falling for no reason, they offer some explanation which defies intelligence. We would invite them, build a scale model and do it again. Let's see. They won't do it. But they say that is how they fall. How would you know? It's never happened before on planet Earth. A concrete and steel building of that kind of structure, very big, thick steel beams, due to fires, they have buildings that have burned far longer, didn't fall. They wouldn't. Once they're up nice and straight, they stay that way. They could be 10% as strong. Take away 90% of them. They'll still stay that way. The concern is something pushing them over. Well, what would be up there to push them over? Nothing. So they're built far over strength. And a reminder, the building towers 1 and 2 had the plane. Tower 7 did not have a plane. They'll say that debris from one of the first towers, 1 or 2, fell on Tower 7, weakening a main beam. Well, they need to have some excuse. But again, if that's the case, then beyond AutoCAD, build the tower. It could fit in a house. It doesn't even have to be 10 feet tall. Build the model and prove it to us. They won't, because it's a lie. They say, rigging controlled demolition like that, impossible. No, not at all impossible. It's been done before. That has been done before. That does exist in history. In fact, thousands and tens of thousands of times. Well, it's far too big of a project. No, it's not. If you can do 1 building, you can do 3. Well, you'd never get away with it secretly. Yes, you would. They dress like regular people. They go through a door. Someone would have heard something. Yes, you're right, they did. Some people did hear something. They said, gee, it's been about a year now, and it seems like some of this construction is still going on, and I'm a little bit suspicious. Could you check in here? What happened when they checked? We'll never know. What happened when my child was vaccinated? We'll never know. Me and his mummy know. This is how he died, but they don't have a checkbox for that. It's simply a dead-end path. And they use really dumb people, so you'd have to reconstruct anything. They just make faces or be silent. I was beaten in the mental hospital by 4 Filipino security guards, and 6 nurses bared false witness to say that I attacked them, which I said, you won't get away with that. That's the kind of thing that makes someone crazier. Come back with machine guns and blow you all away. You can't make a false witness statement like that. Well, they don't get away with it. I'm superpowered now. I know Elon Musk and Trump. I'm going to take away all of their jobs, just as one tiny order of business. I like Filipino. I'm not racist in any way. I know that the attack on Henry isn't by a genuine Sikh. It's by a bad one who wears the stuff, and he could be a member of other stupid organizations too. 2023 documented they kicked him out of the temple because they don't like him. The Sikh already have a long, successful warring culture. We don't doubt them. Nobody has been able to take away their big knives yet. If the military was what it claims to be, you would have disarmed all the Sikh. It's construct. The reason Trump has called in ICE was to test and prove them, because Hurricane Katrina was such a botched job. Well, we have 9/11/2026 rolling up, and I do predict UK, USA, Canada, street riots and violence like you've never seen before, all at once on the same day. One of the most recent things in Canada, a big black SUV plowed through a large gathering of people. It was for a Filipino food festival, killing 11. That took the death toll in Vancouver. It doubled it for the year. Check the numbers. I'm not sure of the exact numbers. Well, if you did that, could you do 100 and coordinate them simultaneously to start at exactly the same time? And if a regular SUV can do that, and it's all roundy and the bumpers are soft and it's big enough that that you could go underneath it. What if you put some big bolt a bunch of rake heads? How about 10 garden rakes under that thing? Elevate the bumper so it can scoop more people under it. A day spent modifying a regular vehicle would turn it into a true weapon. If you weren't just seeing a crowd of people and saying, what the fuck, I'm going to hit the gas, but you were strategic and organized, maybe a couple of backup vehicles to go with one. Could you take out 100 as they flee? One is black, one is white, one is blue. You wouldn't link them together. Yeah, you could. With just cars, you could run people over. How many states in the USA? Multiply it. Canada, the same. That's without machine guns. So for anyone who wants to break the windows and come in, could be bulletproof, or you could be waiting with a gun. It's too easy. I'll tell you, I know the way out. I'm an expert on a couple of pieces of history. One is Robert Zikansky being murdered in the Vancouver airport. Another is the murder of Holy Jacob Daylight, murdered by VPD. Vancouver airport was RCMP. We know that the system, the construct, you could say it's the police who released the video, the body cam footage of Henry. They knew what it was going to do. They didn't. Obviously, they knew there would be protests. Is that so they could show off their power, how to deal with protests? It could be someone higher up in police or military who says, let them drop that, we'll be ready. We need to train some people. Chances are their strategy and PR department is not that stupid. They would settle with Henry's parents, give them money, make sure everything's okay, get a statement, and then release the body cam footage, only if they had to. They could just give them more money and say we won't release it at all. This is just preparation. We're heading here quickly. I am in conversation with Trump and Elon Musk on how to possibly prevent this or quell this, what to look for on the street. However, more so, it's up to Trump. Two things. One, you're going to teach, he already knows. I don't demand it, I just suggest it, and he said yes right away. You will need to teach 9/11 truth into all the high schools and have that well done and testable before September. No more lies to our high school children, or they will be part of these riots. 3 towers fell. Only 2 were hit by plane. The third tower is not short. It's just shorter than the first 2. The first 2 are 110. The other is 47. The third tallest tower, called 7. It should have been called 3, but it's called 7. That's taller than most of the Vancouver skyline. The Trump Tower, formerly named Trump Tower in Vancouver, is the tallest or second tallest in the city at 62. You look at that falling, you go, no way, no way. Why would it fall straight down? Boom, 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 boom. This is because the columns are already cut. It's outrageously stupid, and no engineer would really stand behind it. But if they just say, you don't have to vote by raising your hand, just don't protest. Okay, that's good. We got the count in. We have 1 million engineers, therefore 1 million engineers voted, because they're always, peer reviewed and stuff. Peer review looks like this to them. Did you read it? Yeah, they want us to believe that. Well, they're PhDs, engineers, so, a PhD engineer is. That's a doctorate, that's indoctrination. So they just believe what they're told. Oh, so fires can cause that. Yeah, we just finished doing the major research. And now we're telling you, okay, so the top tells the lower levels. That's all that happens. The next thing is Trump will speak about childhood vaccinations, immunization. It took the life of my son. Can tell everyone. Yes, there is a risk, and the upside of the protection the age 2 immunization gives you, that we don't know. We really don't know. You could test it. So far, whooping cough in California was a test, and it didn't work. So that test failed. We might not need those injections at all. Would that be nice? I wouldn't inject myself or my child with anything at any stage. I do not trust that construct. I don't call it just the government because there's a higher level at play. It's part of the game of life and time on Earth, prison planet. That's what Alex Jones calls it. Another icon for his 9/11 truth work, his other work, speaking the truth about so many things, and an icon for the single biggest financial court penalty. Over $1 billion. You can read about it. It's about $1.4 billion. We don't have a single individual. Only corporations get penalties that high. And all he did, this is freedom of speech, all he did is say, it's about Sandy Hook. He said, those are actors. Those are crisis actors. This whole thing's fake. It's all a setup. With a name like Sandy Hook, it's got to be good. Apparently, you can't say that. It traumatizes the parents. Let's look at 9/11 truth again. Where's the bodies? There's supposed to be 2,000 bodies. These are wealthy people, not homeless people. They do use the internet. If every year they had 10 friends make a YouTube video to celebrate them, to say that was tragic about Sandy Hook, that was my friend, my family, my coworker, my neighbor. 2,000 people dead is 20,000 videos annually. They add up. It's been 25 years. We don't see 20,000 a year. We see 0. Almost 0. There's a few videos of people who said, yeah, that was my coworker, that was my family. Try to verify the people or the mourning people left behind. Try. Dylan Avery tried. He tried to get forensic evidence, such as bone fragments found at the scene. Can they cover that up? Yeah, they can cover it up. The people didn't have to be there in the first place. They didn't have to be there at all. This is why we have the falling man. It's one man. It's iconic. It's a symbol. It's supposed to make you say, why didn't more people jump? Well, as the towers come down, as you can see what's happening, don't you think more people would do what he did and jump? Let's all jump, everyone. Let's hold hands and jump. No, just one. Certainly, there'd be some video photography that couldn't avoid showing people buried in the concrete. No, we don't see any. I won't even get into the Dr. Judy Wood. I've already mentioned it too many times. It's encoded in my poetry. Perceive it, believe it, achieve it. It's true. There's a lie center perfecta in the middle for you. 3 words stacked. And if you don't wake up on this issue, it's still subliminally affecting everything you think, you say, you do. I before ye, except after see, amended the case it's truth you want to believe, but you got to break the rule if you want to achieve. ACHIEVE, it comes after a C, but it's still IE. Now, when you can't talk to your children about what's hidden in plain sight, how are you ever going to raise your children right? Planesiterite. Yes, I spelled it right. Ritualistically, symbolically, it's at ground zero, hidden in plain sight. Even a 7-year-old could get it right. Just measure length times width times height.